As Vermont's own veteran classical music host Walter Parker informs us that, quote, "it's noon," unquote, I welcome old and new friends to the first revival show after many years away of Green Mountain Challenge Live. It is live, we are live. This is your conversational question and answer program dedicated to a monthly theme and to guests apropos to that theme. We will, during the course of the show, ask you, our listeners, questions related to a monthly theme. Correct answers can win prizes, so generously contributed by our guests and others. Please be ready to call in. The phone number should be appearing on your screen, but it is 802-362-7070. Today's show is in memory of Dorset Player's longtime actor and singer and our friend Bob Fry. You probably saw the dedication on the screen. Despite all of Bob's professional and volunteer accomplishments, Bob will probably be best known for being one of the very few people ever to actually have lunch with Mr. Nostalgia, Joe Franklin, our old Joe Franklin, and Pat, his widow, is probably laughing as I speak. I also want to make note, seriously, of the passing of local highly respected actor, singer, and teacher Willie Jones, who passed away within the last month. Willie will also be deeply missed by all who knew him. Now our guests. The maestro Ariel Rudiakov. I have a little Russian accent there.
Really?
Co-founder and co-artistic director with lovely wife, violinist Ioana Genova, of the Taconic Music Festival. Conductor and violist, Ari also serves as conductor and director of the Danbury, Connecticut Symphony Orchestra. Mm-hmm. To my immediate right, Elisabeth Hazelton is co-executive producer of the Dorset Players along with Paul Michael Brinker and oversees the amazing performances during the season run. And they're both obviously outstanding guests, and actually would have had another guest, but he's actually outstanding in the cold. He came late and had to close the door on him. And I want to thank Steve Allen for that joke, the late Steve Allen. Okay, now, first of all, I want to ask, how about we start with the gentleman to my far right, Ari Rudiakov. Say something about the great holiday performances of Taconic Music and the rest of your season, and we'll get to Elisabeth.
I'd be delighted. First of all, Sam, Elisabeth, it's really wonderful to be here, and it's certainly a thrill. I was on this show many, many years ago, and it's great that you brought it back, whatever the circumstances might have been. So Taconic Music, you were pulled in. Good. That could be his work. We have just concluded our 10th annual Thanksgiving concert under the Taconic banner. Holiday season is a wonderful thing because it opens up such variety for programming, and generally the spirits are high, and if they're not, then we try to make them that way. So we just had our Thanksgiving concert at the Community Library, Manchester Community Library, on Saturday, a high-spirited affair. What's coming up next for us in December, concurrent with the holidays, we are working with, and the orchestra, part of the orchestra from Maxine Linehan, who is a wonderful actress and beautiful singer and storyteller. So her show is at the Arts Center on Saturday, the 6th of December. And then we go down to the end of the month to New Year's Eve, where this will be our 10th annual New Year's Eve bash to help you ring in the new year with a variety of music from Broadway to tangos and some classical thrown in for good measure. And then we continue on after that.
And Guy Lombardo will not be there, correct? For the
Sadly, no.
Unfortunately not, yes. I actually thought when he passed away, New Year's Eve would be gone, but it's not. Still here.
I'm afraid so.
Okay. And actually, could quickly mention
Yeah,
what
sure.
prizes you have available.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Here we have Taconic Music coffee mugs. I'm drinking some coffee. You got a refill? From the GNAT-TV, beautiful mugs here. I've also brought a tote bag or two, which are great for shopping, groceries, gifts, and if you have some other things you need to put in a front pocket, it's fantastic, like that. And concert tickets, which we have in abundance for shows starting in January.
Okay, let's move to Elisabeth on my immediate right. And Elisabeth, say something about the holiday performances first, and again, say something about the really excellent rest of the season of the long-standing Dorset plays.
Thanks for having me. We are in the midst of our 98th season. We opened or formed in 1927, all the way back then. Coming up, actually opening on Friday, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Jr., which has 37 local children in it. Our children's program is something we're incredibly proud of at the Dorset Players, and we try every year to grow it a little bit more with programs such as after-school drama opportunities. And yeah, we open Friday. It's this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the following weekend. We have evening shows and matinees to try to accommodate all of our families. And then coming up next in the slate, we've got some audition announcements for early January for Clue, our spring show, which is based on the movie, based on the board game, and our musical, Something Rotten, which is about the birth of the first musical, Omelette, loosely based on Shakespeare's Hamlet. So we're very excited for that. We have a children's program coming in January from outside, the Missoula Kids program, which we're incredibly proud of. And we have our 21st annual One Act Festival coming up very end of February. We've gotten together a great group of shows under the theme of community. So we're incredibly excited to kick off that as well.
And our old, and our old regular guest, Kevin O'Toole, will be part.
He is. We hope to have him as I think he's interested in some of the one acts to audition for, and he sings, so hopefully the musical as well.
And when I said old, I wasn't referencing Kevin's age. Actually, he's a familiar guest.
Yes.
Green Mountain Challenge. Okay, how about if we begin with a question for our audience? How about Ari? You start with a question.
Sure. So these are trivia questions that I have formatted in multiple choice, and in at least one case, a couple of hints. So please take a stab at it. Excuse me, I'll be put on my readers. So, question one. Which of these three composers studied in Paris with the French composition teacher Nadia Boulanger? Which one actually did? Hint, Nadia Boulanger lived from 1887 to 1979. A, Quincy Jones. B, Igor Stravinsky. C, Ludwig van Beethoven. I'll say again her dates, 1887 to 1979. Answer one of these three. Anybody want to take a guess?
Well, we'll wait a couple. We hope somebody does call in. But Ari, can you tell us something about the classical performances that have been given, let's say, over the last few years by the Taconic Music Festival and the guests you've had along with yourself and Joanna and so forth?
Sure. Well, part of the concept of Taconic Music when we formed 10 years ago almost, we're heading into our 10th year next year, 2016, was to kind of open up and broaden the world to presenting, producing, and not being limited in genre. So we have had jazz performances. We have had multiple chamber music classical performances. We have full symphonic pops orchestral concerts. 2 summers ago we had one. Maxine was our guest vocalist. And so if you are a fan of pick your genre, it's kind of like a little bit like a Lazy Susan situation where you can choose what you want to hear. Our hearts, our training, our souls, our background are in classical chamber music.
Sure.
But we do Led Zeppelin tributes. We do
quite different.
Beatles tributes. Ballet Meets the Beatles we've done. We over 10 years, we've really mixed things up and brought things to the places where you live musically and in terms of one's musical taste in general. To the extent possible. You can't be everything to everyone, but we really, we love jazz, but we're not good at it. So we bring in the people who are. We started that 2 years ago, 2022 in the fall, where we have a series of 2 or 3. We started at the Art Center, now it's at the Inn at Manchester in the Barn. Next one's in January, having a great trumpet player come, Ray Vega, and his band. He's got a show of his own on NPR. So if you like jazz, come and check it out. If you don't like jazz, luckily it says jazz on the title.
Yes,
so you're pretty well clued in.
Yeah,
but if you come to our classical music, if you want to hear that, we delineate very clearly what's what and what, so if you like everything, great. We do. So we've just welcoming people to everything we have.
I'm pretty eclectic myself. Maybe not heavy metal, but...
Really? We got to fix that.
I think actually, does anyone here want to take a stab at the answer to the question?
Shall I repeat the question?
No, I think it's probably better to go on to the next question.
All right, I've got another one if you like.
Well, no, I might as well give the answer.
All right, so Nadia Boulanger was a well-known French pedagogue, composer. She taught everybody, from Astor Piazzolla, George Gershwin sought advice from her. And actually, the one who actually studied with her for a time was Quincy Jones.
Interesting.
Who worked with Michael Jackson, produced Michael Jackson, and produced, wrote the theme to Sanford and Son, and all kinds of things that are amazing. And he studied with Nadia Boulanger for a time.
That I did not know.
That's the answer.
How about a question from you, Elisabeth?
Sure. First, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we have a special one evening only event coming up in March. We are welcoming the Ukraine's Grand Kiev Ballet to the Dorset Players for a performance of Swan Lake. It's coming up March 6, 2026. Tickets are available, as well as more information on the rest of our season, including auditions at dorsetplayers.org. But yes, we're incredibly excited to be welcoming them and to doing a one-night-only special event. So,
I'm going to invoke the name of Joe Franklin again, because he would always say, "I'll be there." Most of the time, he didn't show up. But I would like to be there very much.
Yeah, tickets are available now, so don't wait until the last minute. It's
especially being that my grandfather was from Kiev.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So was mine.
I'm sorry?
So was mine.
Really?
As it happens.
Interesting, yes. You want to give me
Sure,
a
so I do have a question. The Dorset Players love our holiday productions. We have been doing them for a number of years now. They're certainly one of the more popular shows of the season. So my question is, how many times has the Dorset Players done or produced a Christmas Carol or a version thereof?
Okay, hopefully someone from the Dorset Players calls in. They would probably know the answer to that.
Or an avid audience member.
Or an avid, that's perfectly correct.
Do you get a prize if you take an average?
Well, you take an
Within
average.
a range of-
Well, if you've been to our theater during our season, you'll know that up on the walls we have photographs of all of the recent ones.
Right.
So research was done before we got the answer.
And I must say that I've attended a number of performances by the Dorset Players, and the one that stands out in my mind, besides the ones that I've seen Bob Fry in, was one that Tom Ferguson did in Oliver. If I remember correctly, played Fagin. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
And he did an outstanding job playing
Yeah.
Fagin. And I believe Bob Fry was also in that. Do you remember the part that Bob Fry played?
I didn't see Oliver, alas. Yeah.
But I do believe Bob Fry was
Yeah.
in that also. And there were so many other performances. They're actually excellent. I would say maybe almost as good as the Shakespeare Festival on the Avon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks. Yeah. That's a pretty high pedestal to be put on. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think you better tell us the answer.
So the answer is, and actually speaking of Tom Ferguson, he did play Scrooge in the most recent Christmas Carol. The answer is that we've done it 7 times, or a version thereof. I'm sure that the most recent one won't be the last. Last time we did try to include every child that auditioned to be a part of it. And it was really successful. It's always, the classics are classic for a reason.
And am I correct? Tom Ferguson was actually a professional actor.
Yes, that's correct. Yep, that's correct. We're quite happy he's come back to us.
Nice.
So if anyone gets any of these questions right from us, we are offering, we've got 2 pairs of tickets to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Jr. Again, that opens this Friday. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the following weekend as well. So we do have pairs of tickets out there for a prize if you call it.
All right. I am going to ask my question, which may or may not be easier. Hopefully somebody calls in. We do want to give away the prizes. Who composed the classic holiday song White Christmas? And in what classic film did the song make its debut? And what famous crooner made the song one of the best selling records of all time? The composer composed so many famous songs, God Bless America and others. So who is the composer who composed White Christmas? There was a film by that name, but that's not where the song debuted. It was in a film by another name. And what famous crooner made the song one of the best-selling records of all time? Actually, it was #1. It still might be #1 on some charts. Do either of you remember?
I think I know the movie that it debuted in.
And I will say that his co-star was Marjorie Reynolds, who actually did a great job with that, singing duets with the star of the show. She retired to raise a family, and then she later became William Bendix's co-star in The Life of Riley. So,
Are you requesting an answer, or are we waiting for someone to call?
we are hoping to have someone call in, but it actually is a fairly easy question. It looks like, actually, just by coincidence, we do have someone on the phone. Am I correct? We do. And I do want to say, in honor and in tribute to the late Phil Donahue, I will say, is the caller there? Hello, is the caller there?
1 second, I think.
Okay. A little technical glitch. Now, is the caller there?
Hi, I'm here.
I see. Please state your first name and the town, please.
My first name is Keegan, and the town is Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York. We have someone calling from our neighboring state. Keegan,
Yep.
what is the answer to the composer of White Christmas?
Am I correct that it's Irving Berlin?
It is Irving Berlin. It's absolutely
Yeah.
correct. His born name was actually Israel Berlin, and it's an interesting story because originally his last name was mistyped on some sheet music as Berlin, and he just kept it that way. So that's.
I wish my name had a cool story like that, but it doesn't.
But that's absolutely true. And I remember it was one of the composing teams Adolph Green and Betty Comden. I believe it was Betty Comden who told that story about the mistake on some sheet music. What was the film in which White Christmas debuted? It was not the film White Christmas, it was another film.
Is it the 1940s movie Holiday Inn?
That's exactly right, 1942 Holiday Inn. And who did it star and who made the song famous?
The song was, you know what, I don't know the answer to those two questions. I don't know the
Well, it's the same. It's the same answer. It's the same answer. He was a friend of Bob Hope. Does that give it away?
No, that doesn't give it away. I think you're going to have someone else answer those questions.
Okay.
I know the composer. I know the name of the film.
Good enough. All right. Well, thank you, Keegan, and you're in the running for a prize. You will get a prize.
Oh wait, was it Bing Crosby?
Bing Crosby's absolutely right. Harry Lillis, Bing Crosby, and incidentally, Bing was a shortened form of the name Bingo because his friends, when he was growing up, thought he looked like a comic strip character named Bingo. That's true story. I used to listen to Joe Franklin an awful lot. Too bad he's gone now. But yeah, so you will definitely win some prizes, Keegan.
Amazing.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So we had our first call. We are, as Bob Murphy said, when the Mets played their first game, we're in business. Okay. Some arcane references, but they work. Okay. So, how about Ari? Another question.
Another question? May I mention one thing before I ask the
Sure,
question?
absolutely.
I just wanted to, since you mentioned Ukraine and the wonderful presentation that's coming up. In March, it seems to be contagious. I mean, it's not that this is from Ukraine, but we are doing 4 performances for free for school kids of Peter and the Wolf.
Nice.
With Maxime Linehan narrating, we believe, and that will be at the First Congregational Church later in March, not to conflict. But this is open and free to the community
Nice.
and school. So, on to the question. All right, this is maybe one that's a little less obscure. So, composer Leroy Anderson, famous for his light classical music, composed his famous holiday classic, Sleigh Ride. In which month of the year? January, July, April. A, January, B, July, C, April.
And am I correct? Leroy Anderson was also famous for the syncopated clock. Is that right?
Syncopated Clock, The Waltzing Cat, Blue Tango, Sleigh Ride.
He was
amazing.
He had his own genre, really, because, and the syncopated clock, for those people as old as I am who lived in New York City, the syncopated clock was the theme music for the Late Show and the Late Late Show and the Early Show. It was the syncopated clock. Remember? Da 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 da.
Played it many times, and other tunes like Fiddle Faddle and Bugler's Holiday, and you could devote it, and there have been entire concerts devoted to Leroy Anderson. So what month of the year did he write Sleigh Ride, a winter holiday classic favorite? January, July, or April?
Well, is the answer somewhat ironic?
If that's a cue for a hint, the answer is yes.
You know, if someone isn't sure, they can always call in and take a guess.
Sure.
We'll accept anything.
Absolutely.
But so we don't have dead air. Is there anything that either of you have some brochures, Ari, correct?
Yeah.
And I think we can zoom in, correct? If people want to take a look at the very colorful collages.
We have music and music education happening year-round. Our ultimate goal is to do something every single month of the year. And we have a summer festival, but we're called Taconic Music, not Taconic Music Festival, because we operate year-round, and that's our umbrella. Our summer festival runs mid-June to mid-July. We are going to do another symphonic pops concert this year. So if you want to get your fix of John Williams and all that great stuff, come to that, and some wonderful chamber music as well. A couple of events here have gone by. As I mentioned, the Thanksgiving concert, and we have our holiday concert at the end of the year, our Strings for Kids recitals, and we have jazz coming up, and we'll produce another one as soon as the last concert in March is over here. So get a look at that. Awesome. Thank you so much.
And yes, that is amazing, actually, that you're now going. So I, from now on, will use the generic term Taconic music, correct?
Please do.
To indicate that this is a year-round,
Yeah.
well, I'll say festival of the arts anyway, in a very generic
We're
sense.
not uptight, Sam. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I do think we may be awaiting a phone call. Am I correct or not necessarily? Oh, okay. It looks. So, do we have time for? I think you're going to have to give the answer to the question.
Sure. It was
I
a.
think we've
I'm
got
sorry.
someone calling in.
Oh, we
for
do
that.
have
It's a
that.
call.
Okay. We do. I see. Okay.
Leroy Anderson lived in Connecticut, and
Busy.
his son, Kurt Anderson, is a radio broadcaster and has championed his father's music, and it's just such great stuff that everybody knows and loves.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
I know a number of other artists who lived in Connecticut, but including Paul Newman, et cetera, but not necessarily. Okay, now it looks like we have a phone call, although, wow, great timing. Okay. Is the caller there?
Yes,
Please state your first name and the town, please.
Jack, Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Okay. And
Cool.
it is, everyone is saying it's
Love
cool.
it.
Yeah. Jack, please give us the answer.
I think it was July.
Jack, you are correct. Thank you so much for your answer. It was ironic because there was a massive heat wave happening in Connecticut at the time, and Leroy Anderson was inspired to write something to try to cool himself off, at least in theory. And so he wrote Sleigh Ride in July.
Right.
I did not know that. And I know who this caller is. So, Jack, did you ever, on your cello, did you ever play a sleigh ride?
No, I didn't play it, no.
Okay. Jack,
But I somehow remember that it was July.
great. Well, look, Jack, both of our memories are great. So, this actually is a longtime friend of mine. So, Jack, thank you for calling. Please keep listening from Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
I will.
And hopefully you enjoyed the show up until this point.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks. And, oh, and you will get a prize.
Okay.
Okay, stay tuned.
Bye.
Okay. I am going to ask a question of my own now. And one of the answers, this is a three-parter, one of the answers has already been given, but it doesn't matter, I'm going to ask it anyway. What singing cowboy rendered the famous version of the classic holiday song about one of Santa's helpers? It actually helps to emphasize your holiday showing. It was actually a throwaway recording on the backside of an old LP. No one remembers what the front side was. It was supposed to be the feature song. No one remembers what that was. Everyone remembers the throwaway song. But what cowboy singer made it famous? Became a very wealthy man. He owned a lot of real estate in the Las Vegas area. He also owned the California Angels baseball team. So who was the cowboy singer? The song that was made famous, we sort of mentioned, but someone wants to mention it again, via the Dorset Plays, we mentioned, who is the composer? That may be a little esoteric, but who is the composer? It is a famous Christmas song about one of Santa's helpers, real or fictional, and maybe there was something special about the reindeer's nose. So what was the name of the cowboy singer that made it famous? I'll give a little hint here. One of his sidekicks when he played cowboys was Pat Buttram, who probably became maybe more famous as one of the co-stars of Green Acres, Mr. Haney. So who was the famous cowboy singer who made the song famous? Do you remember? You both remember whom I mean, correct?
There's a bit to unpack there.
Okay.
I want me to answer the question?
Well,
I'm not sure I'm going to answer it correctly, but I could.
Do you know who the composer was?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I don't.
Was the singer, was it Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Was that Burl Ives singing it?
No, it actually was not.
Was that Gene Autry singing it?
Yes, that's who it was.
All right.
And do you know the composer? That's esoteric.
I'm afraid I don't.
Do you?
Oh,
I'm
gosh, no.
stumped, Sam. You got me.
The composer was someone by the name of Johnny Marks.
Ah,
Johnny Marks. He did compose a number of, I'd say, popular tunes at the time, but the composer was Johnny Marks.
well, you had me at the red nose, so, you know.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't want to sing a bit of it.
Oh,
Only
no,
if
there's
you
a
all
reason
sing
I'm
with
not in
me.
musicals.
Okay.
A cappella, I need a tuning fork. No, thank you.
Okay, fair enough.
We know
That
how
is-
it goes.
That is fair enough. Okay, so right now, do either of you want to mention anything more about your amazing, I'll say institutions, but I mean that in the right way?
Elizabeth?
The Dorset Players, we are an open door community. We would love to have volunteers. Everyone who participates is a volunteer of all capacities, whether you've never been on stage before, whether you haven't been on stage in 20 years or so, we welcome you back. If you're just good at painting and building sets, or you've got an eye for fashion and you want to do costumes, if you just want to be a member and have your sole role be as an audience member, we welcome you as that too. Members do get a little bit of discount on prices. You get invited to special events. So if I can ask another question, unless we're running.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, right.
Like I said, the Dorset Players have been around since 1927. We are actually about to plan our 99th and 100th seasons coming up. And yeah. And my question is, what play, which would later go on to, I think, go on Broadway and possibly become a movie, what play actually premiered in Dorset at the Dorset Playhouse in 1940?
Interesting.
And we did do it again. The Dorset Players did do a production of this in 2019.
2019. It's interesting you should say this. It actually premiered right here in the
Premiered right here in Dorset, yep.
In Dorset, in the Northshire.
Yep.
And actually, before you asked the question, what I was going to say was, for people who are not familiar with the Northshire in Bennington County in Vermont, is actually a bastion of cultural events, of a bastion of the arts. It has classical music, is the maestro was saying, all types of music. It has museums. It has plays that are being done by professionals and people who technically might be amateurs, but for all practical purposes, they are professionals. And it is really, it is not only a winter wonderland, it is a year-round wonderland. And I don't get any kickbacks, incidentally, from the Chamber of Commerce. But So any event, you want to ask another question?
Oh, I think we're waiting for an answer on that one. I can answer it if you want. You can Google it too, call in.
Why
I'm
don't you
so
ask another
sorry I
question?
don't know the
May give
answer off the
another,
top of my head. I should know
The
that, but
show
I
that
don't.
premiered at the Dorset Playhouse in 1940 is Gaslight.
Interesting. That is,
And that's where the term gaslighting came from, was this is the show. Yeah.
it is a trivia show in a sense. That's good to know. Ari, do you have another question?
Yeah, I've got a couple more. I
Go
think,
ahead.
Sam, you're not averse to humor.
Oh, no,
So
not at all.
this, you may or may not think this is funny. I have no idea. But this is my question. So which of these dances does not appear in Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker ballet? Which of these are not in the Nutcracker? Okay. A, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. B, The Electric Eel Tango. C, Waltz of the Flowers.
Well, I think I know the answer to that, but I'm not going
A
to
caller, please.
pull out. I know that many of your friends know the answer to that, I'm sure.
There's a good chance.
Yeah. So actually, while people are calling in, or hopefully they're calling in, let me, if you will, I know everyone's going to groan, but if you will, let me tell my famous Beethoven joke. The time might be right. I know that it's been appreciated in the past, although Elisabeth, I don't think you've heard of it. People say it's true, although I think it's apocryphal, it may not be. Apparently, there were a group of tourists who were visiting a historic cemetery in Vienna, Austria, and which is known for the remains of many famous composers. And there was a tour guide with them. And as they were touring the grave sites, they hear music coming from one of the grave sites. Dum-da-da, dum-da-da. And they were a little perplexed by that, so they asked the tour guide, what's that sound? Was that music coming from one of the graves? And the tour guide said, oh, that's just Beethoven. He's decomposing. Now, if
Sorry.
hopefully there's another maestro listening to our show and maybe,
Sam, may I have the temerity to amend your joke slightly?
go ahead.
If you're thinking about the opening theme of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony,
Yes.
that was one of my deleted questions, was who wrote Beethoven's Fifth, and I'm glad I did. It's dum bum bum bum. So if you were to take that as dum 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 da or da 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 da, then if he's decomposing backwards, it would have to be da 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 dum.
Oh.
3 of them, and the 4th syllable.
I see.
So rather than just 2.
That
So
is-
next time, for the
Okay,
next
for the
time,
next time.
deja vu is killing me.
That is very helpful. And actually, this is a bit esoteric, but people tend to think that Beethoven is buried in Germany, in either Bonn or, he's not. He's actually buried in the cemetery in Vienna, Austria, and so is Mozart, but they're not buried in the same cemeteries.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I probably is. They'd be too close to each other. Absolutely. So, how about if I ask another question? Let's see if this will get any interest. Name the crooner of old, noted for his laid-back or very nonchalant style, who for many years hosted his own variety show and then appeared regularly on Christmas specials. He was particularly noted for his rendition of Ave Maria. Oddly enough, he had begun his working life in Pennsylvania as a barber. He actually was a skilled barber. who are we talking about? He was so nonchalant that actually looked like he was falling asleep at times. And I know this will give it away, but we want people to win prizes. During the show, they would have a feature where he sang songs by request, and it would begin with, "Sing to me, Mr. C, I'm on my way to a star." We have the first letter of his last name anyway. So who was that famous crooner? Actually, while we're waiting for someone to call in, hopefully, Elisabeth, could you give us a breakdown of musical presentations at the Dorset Playhouse relative to, let's say, straight plays and so on?
So we try to include at least one musical every season. We do 4 main shows every season, and then in between those 4 main shows are peppered special events, stage readings, the one-act festival, stuff like that. So we try to do at least one musical a year. It's usually the final show of the year, happening in May. It's usually one of the largest productions of the season for sure. That's not to say some other shows don't have larger casts. Clue, which you think of only having sort of the 6 or 7 main characters, has a cast of, I think, almost 20. So please come out and audition for it. But yes, we encourage people who've never been in a musical and they'd just like to sing. Dancers of all, shapes, sizes, and abilities too. If you like to sing in the shower and you can move it a little bit on the dance floor, please come out and audition for us. If there's a musical that you've always wanted to see, we would love your input when we're putting together the next couple seasons. Sometimes the musicals are chosen based on, our ability to produce sets and costumes. If it's, a cast of thousands and there's multiple costume changes, we are a finite amount of talent as far as backstage and on stage. So that might not be chosen over something that's a little bit more doable. Right. But yeah, we're excited. It's definitely one of the productions every year that draws the largest amount of participation, whether it be auditions or backstage or audience members. So we're excited to include them. We have flipped the season sometimes and done the musical in the fall, but there's something sort of traditional and nice about having it be the last show of the season.
That reminds me, could you tell our viewers when your season begins and when?
Yes, so the Dorset Players, we own the Dorset Playhouse. Our season typically starts the end of September or beginning of October. We opened this year October 3rd, so the first weekend, with a special event of one weekend only of What the Constitution Means to Me. And then we do, like I said, 4 main shows, and our season runs through the end of May. And then we rent it to the professionals that come in over the summer.
I see. That's right. And the professionals. And the professionals are known as
They're the Dorset Theatre Festival.
Yeah.
We're very happy to have them as tenants, but yes.
Okay, so so it does the musical. The spot for the musical does vary.
It does. I mean, last year our holiday show was Elf, and that was a musical. So we did 2 of them last year. But yes, it will vary. Sometimes we'll do it in the fall, and sometimes the holiday show will be a musical as well.
Okay. So I believe we might have a call. There we go. Okay, again, in tribute to Phil Donahue, and I want to say, Marlo, we love you too. Is the caller there?
Yes, hi.
First name in the town, please.
Yes, hi, Mark from Poland, here in the just north of you guys.
Absolutely, and I can say now that's where Bob Fry used to live. Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and so the answer, I hope, is correct. Is it Perry Como?
It is absolutely Perino Ronald Como. That's absolutely correct. And he had long-standing television variety shows in the 50s and 60s, and then did specials after that. He was known for singing Ave Maria just before Christmas time, and even though he himself was not Jewish, he sang a traditional Jewish song, Kol Nidra, for the Jewish holiday. So you're absolutely right. It was Perry Como. I'm just going to throw this out. Do you remember who his long-standing announcer was? Looked very cadaverous, but that
No,
might
I
be.
can't say that I do.
Well, his name was Frank Gallup. Frank Gallup. But. Okay, thank you for calling in, and you will win a prize, Mark.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, so who do you want to ask the next question?
Well, Elisabeth?
Sure. This one is a bit esoteric. It is throwing back to some of the earlier seasons of the Dorset Players, but what and when was the Dorset Players' first holiday production?
First holiday.
Our first holiday production. So we started off in 1927, and we kicked off the tradition of having a holiday show. When and what was it?
That might be somewhat esoteric. You're absolutely right, unless someone from the Dorset Players calls it.
Exactly.
Kevin, where are you? Probably working. Okay. That at least, even if no one answers the question, when we give the answer, it'll familiarize people with the Dorset Players, and if no one answers a question of yours, it still familiarizes themselves with the really outstanding offerings.
Sam, may I mention one more thing?
Absolutely.
Or maybe two?
That's why you're here.
Well, we have such a wonderful geographic range of people who are calling in that I think is terrific. And I only hope it grows, and I hope your show you go from strength to strength and success to success.
Well,
However, sorry.
Go ahead.
And I hasten to add,
Yeah.
we have physical prizes here.
Yes.
Mugs, tote bags. How do we get these prizes to Rochester, New York? Or we're happy to ship a couple of things if that's a welcome thing. Taconic Music will ship these things to you. If you're looking at our website, taconicmusic.org, many of our performances are live streamed, so you don't have to be in Manchester, Vermont, or one of the other satellite towns we often play in to actually take in a performance. Check our website. We live stream most, if not all, of our summertime concerts and many throughout the year, but not all of them. So we'd love for you to join us virtually if you can't join us in person. Otherwise, we'll get the prizes to you.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was crossing my mind also. I'm very glad you did.
Because I didn't anticipate such a wonderful range of folks from so many different places. That's awesome.
Well, this is our first revival show, so hopefully by word of mouth, we'll have even a greater geographical range coming up.
We can't ship overseas.
That would be a little.
We could try.
That would be a little difficult. Not sure how
It's
many
expensive.
people would be calling in from the Ukraine. It might be a little difficult.
Well, the time, now's a good time for them. After dinner.
So that's true.
If other things
Time
don't-
changes. I am going to ask. Oh, here's a good question. We have played for you in the past some great Christmas songs. Our intro and outro, courtesy of Taconic Music, has a Christmas theme generally. But I'm going to ask, who co-wrote the holiday standard, the Christmas song, which is also known as Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire? Who co-wrote it, and who cut his own popular version? His nickname was the Velvet Fog, but to be honest, he did not like that nickname. He actually didn't like it at all. He thought it trivialized his talents. Velvet Fog came from his smooth yet subtly raspy voice. So, who co-wrote and sang the very famous Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire? Incidentally, his stage name or his professional name had a French tone to it, but he was actually Russian. And his name was not exactly, his born name, original name, was not exactly what his stage name was. So Chestnuts Roasting on Open Fire, known as the Velvet Fog, but he did not like that nickname. Any further thoughts?
I can only go by process of elimination. There are so many wonderful singers out there. I mean, it's not Jim Nabors, and certainly not Paul Lynde. It's certainly not.
I don't think that would be
That's a
Paul.
little bit too esoteric for me, unfortunately.
Mel Torme, isn't it?
But
I don't know why I
I don't
know
know.
that.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to. It's possible that someone will call in with the answer when we're going to, in a very polite way, disregard the answer you gave. Or let the person call in, and the person will still get a prize. So, so any event, but yes, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. This person, famous singer, he got a little rotund at the end of his career, but he did make the song very famous, and was also an actor. Most people didn't know that, but he did a bit of acting in his time, as well as singing in his smooth voice. His voice, the intonation was a little bit like the great Nat King Cole, but not quite the raspy type of voice. So I believe we do have a call coming in, and there we go. Perfect timing again. Is the caller there?
The caller is here.
First name in the town, please.
Ilana, Norwich, Connecticut.
We got Ari, we got Connecticut.
Awesome.
And we are talking about whom? Nope.
Mel Torme.
You're absolutely right. Did you know that his original name was actually Torma, Torma? He was actually Russian Jewish, but they wanted to give his name a French continental sound, so it became Torme. With an, I think, an accented U over the E.
Great jazz stylist as well.
He was a great jazz star, and again, I know this caller, but I can't say the last name, and I know this caller is a fan of the great Nathaniel Adams Coles, who is better known as, Alana?
I don't get that one, Sam.
His real name was Nathaniel Adams Coles, but he was best known as, what was
Nat
his?
King.
That's right. Go ahead. You were going
I
to.
might as well also answer the first question, which I caught. The first two, the first and third answer for the dances in Nutcracker were the correct ones.
Yes, but don't you want to see some electric eels do the tango?
Honestly, I think it would be great. I think it would fit in really well with Mark Morris's version of the Nutcracker.
Exactly, the hard nut. That's a scream. That's a scream.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Thank you for calling in. And again, I know this person is a big fan. I hope I'm saying this correctly, of the Nat King Cole Trio, and his original jazz trio, not before he started singing the popular songs and so
Right.
forth. But
Right.
his original
When
name.
he played his own piano.
That's right, exactly. And his original name was Nathaniel Adams Coles. Okay. Thank you for calling.
you.
Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it.
Bye.
And okay, we are going to have to wrap up. considering this was our first revival show, I think we had a pretty good, not only pretty good, but a variety of callers, and a pretty good number of callers considering everything. I hope it didn't disappoint you.
4 people, 4 different states.
Right?
I mean, no, it's wonderful.
We had,
Thank you all.
and hopefully you will benefit. The whole point is for the Dorset
Yeah.
players, Paul Michael and everyone else, and Ari and Joanna. You know.
I guarantee you, if you come to see the Dorset players at Taconic Music events or any of the wonderful cultural events, you won't be disappointed. It'll be worth your trip and we'll roll out the red carpet for you.
Absolutely. I know 2 callers who might be here in the spring. Okay.
Cool.
We do have a basket coming in with the names of here it comes. Not the tea time lady, but it'll do. I used to like Carson also. Keegan, Alana, Mark, and Jack have all won prizes. We will sort out the prizes after the show, but you have all won prizes, probably more than one. And please tell your friends about the show. We hope it's an entertaining show in addition to being an informative show. Again, I want to thank the Dorset players, Paul Michael and Elisabeth and everyone else for volunteering to be on the show. Ari, I want to thank you. And I have one over our great friend Walter Parker. I pronounced Joanna's name correctly. He botched it up 3 times.
You're spot on. Thank you, Sam.
Walter, I'm just kidding.
Joanna thanks you, I'm sure.
And Walter, I'm just kidding. He's a great senior classical music host. I do want to thank the staff and crew. They're actually outstanding for their encouragement, the amazing work to prepare for the initial show. We will be on next month. I also want to thank the executive director, Tammy Riley, for her encouragement. Please feel free to email comments about our show to GNAT-TV. All comments are appreciated. We love hearing from you, our listeners, we really do. The email address should be appearing on the screen. Until then, we're going out with an outro courtesy of Maestro Rudiakov and
Felix Mendelssohn.
That's right, Felix Mendelssohn Bertoldi, right?
You use that from time to time.
Yes, right. It was hyphenated, and his grandfather was a great Moses Mendelssohn, right?
Moses Mendelssohn, that's right.
Okay, and it looks like it's time to sign off. So until next month, as Thomas Garrison Morfitt, better known as Gary Moore, used to say, be kind to each other, will you? And goodbye out there.